Don't touch it. Don't touch the desk. You're going to make it all shake. Stay away from the desk. Hey, welcome back to my author diaries. This is entry number 3. And I thought, as it's been quite a busy week, I might split these entries up into some different sections. So we'll have a bit of a personal update, maybe a book update, and then I can go through the questions that you've sent me and we'll see where that takes us. Let me know what you think about the new format, whether it works or not. And, do you want the personal update? I can leave it out if it's not of interest. Okay, so like I said, it's been a pretty busy week this week. It was my son's 12th birthday. I can't believe I have a 12-year-old who he's taller than me already. And ironically, him being 12 now puts him right the top band of reading ages for the book series that I originally started writing for him, because Rescue Quest was the whole idea of Rescue Quest was to encourage him to be excited about reading by setting it in a world that he already loved at the time, Minecraft. But honestly, I think a good story should be accessible to all ages. So I hope the Rescue Quest series is. My hubby and I went out for a lovely walk in the countryside. We're so blessed to live here. And baking up a storm with some cheese and onion puffs, which the kids love as after school supper. So, as some of you may know, I'm one of a handful of UK Notion ambassadors. Notion is my go-to app for storing anything to do with my life and work. It's like a souped-up version of Evernote and Google Docs and Google Sheets. It's everything you need, really. And I switched over from Evernote when they started making some changes I didn't like to that app, and it became paid for in a big way. And Notion is completely free to use as a personal user, has loads of great features, and I was really excited when they asked me to come on board as one of their UK ambassadors. And this week I realized that the templates that I made for other authors to use to help other authors become more productive and efficient in their writing, they've been viewed over 700 times, which I can't quite believe. I'm really surprised. I'll put the link to the templates below if you want to check them out. There's all sorts there. There's a simple writing template where you can just make a draft of your work and save notes. There is a book Bible where you can store all the information about all your books. I use that to store my ISBNs, my character information, my themes and tropes, the summary of the book in case I want to post it on social media. It's all in that one place housed for me, so I don't need to search all over the place for it. There's a character library where I can just store all the information about their characters, and it helps me build characters because there's questions in the templates for how, to sort of think about how your character is going to behave, what they look like, what their personality is like, what their goals are and their fears. There's also a editing part of the book Bible has got an editing template where you can store all the different edits you need to make and do a storyboard for your book. There's tons and tons there. There's also a simple book website, because one of the fantastic things about Notion is that any page that you create in Notion, you can share as a web page in a couple of clicks. So I've created a template for a book website, so you can promote your book on a website completely free without needing to know coding, without needing to buy a URL, without needing to know how to use WordPress or Squarespace or any of those things. It's a very simple page, but if that's what you're looking for, that's there as well. 90% of all the templates are free, so you can download them all quite easily and start using Notion today. So I'll put all of that in the links below so that you can check that out if you're interested. I'll also be at the Notion UK Make with Notion UK launch in a couple of weeks' time. Really excited about nerding out with my fellow ambassadors. That's going to be lots of fun, and if there's stuff I learned there, I will definitely bring it back and tell you all about it. Also this week, really exciting, I been making something that I think, and I hope all my creative friends out there will love. I'm not going to say too much about it at the moment, but it's perfect for the winter months. I really enjoy using this tool when other people create them. So I thought, why not create one myself, put my own spin on it, put it out there free for you all to use, and hopefully it will make creating in the winter months a little bit more fun. Bit of a teaser, I'll share more next time, hopefully. So that's this week's personal update. In book news, this week was anti-bullying week. So that's one of the key themes in Rescue Quest. The main antagonist in the real world is Hunter Graham, who is the school bully who makes Tom's life hell. And it was really important to me to take a moment this week on social media and talk a bit about bullying and share my own experiences of bullying. I was bullied myself at school when I was 11, and I know how demoralizing it can be, how it can really sap your self-confidence. So it was important for me to include in the book a real world experience like that, something that kids can relate to, and there's loads of resources at the back of the book for to help children and adults, parents, teachers with information about how to deal with bullying. So I hope that that is helpful for people. As a bit of an editing update, I'm 2/3 of the way through the edits now. So just looking at my list, I am up to chapter 26. So we're getting there slowly. There are a lot of edits from my fantastic editor, Ross Williams, who's very kind to go through the whole thing for me. And he's an amazing author and screenwriter in his own right. So he's been really, really helpful. It's very embarrassing when you see some of the things that you wrote in a draft that you never realized, like the starting a sentence with the word but 250 times, which is just something you don't realize you're doing. There are and phrases that you don't realize that you're using that you just repeat over and over again. So huge thanks to Ross for helping with that. Also, shout out to one of the tools that I use, which is called ProWritingAid. It's a bit like Grammarly, if you know Grammarly. I prefer ProWritingAid myself, and there's loads of tools there that you within the app that you can go through and not just spellings, but also repeated words and phrases. It can look at the reading age of the writing that you're doing, and is it going to match with your target audience? Lots of different reports you can do as well. So that's been really helpful. So once I finish doing these edits, I will run it through ProWritingAid again and just check out any last minute changes before I publish it. Another update on the book this week. The universe really actually had my back this week in a big way, because I was feeling very nostalgic about my blogging time back in the day, back in 2012, between 2012 and sort of 2018 or so. I blogged at a number of different blog sites, and I was feeling really nostalgic about it, because back then, at the very beginning, was when blogging was, massive. Really, people were reading blogs all the time. Not so much these days, I've noticed. It's become much more sporadic. Everything's spread out a lot more. Back then, video wasn't so much a thing, and so I really felt a connection with other bloggers, and I would go and read other blogs every day, and I would have people come to read my blog every day, and we'd link up with what were called linkies at the time, where you would share, you would write something, and then you would add your link into a list of other links from other blogs, and we'd all visit each other's and comment. And it was such a lovely community. And I really felt very nostalgic about that this week. So I popped a post up on Facebook and mentioned some of the blogs that I used to love, some of the bloggers that I used to spend time with. And it was so lovely to reconnect with those people and to see that so many of them are still creating. Some are still blogging, others are creating in different ways. And I did manage to hook up with an amazing blogger, Jay, and we are talking about potentially doing something in the future in relation to Rescue Quest. So I'm not going to say any more about that right now because it's very early days, but I am super excited about that, because she loves Minecraft like I do, and I think that could be really good fun. Also, it reminded me how much that community supported me when I was going through a really bad time in China when we lived at the time, and I suffered from postnatal depression, and everything that I learned in China ended up being in the happiness habits transformation, all the tips and tricks and everything I learned about how to recover and find myself again. I put in that book with the 8 happiness habits that I used and still use every day. So it was quite a nostalgic week for me from a book point of view. And I think it is amazing how a writing community can support us. So I hope that you have that kind of support yourself, whether it's through a creative community or some other group, friends, family, because I do think that support is so, so important. Let's move on to viewer questions. So Stella asked, what's the most surprising thing you discovered about yourself or your story as you wrote the books? This is a really great question. Thank you, Stella. I think the main thing is, although I plot out my books, and I am a planner, I'm a big planner, I'm an Enneagram type 1. So if you know Enneagram, you'll know that I like to plot and plan, and I am a completer finisher as well. So I am quite meticulous about these things. But when I actually get into the flow of writing, I love how my characters can take on a life of their own and start doing things that I never really expected them to do on the page. That's when writing can become really, really fun. There are moments of hard slog, like editing. I don't really enjoy it too much, but when you're in the full flow and the characters are off having fun, doing things on their own, it can be very special. So in Freedom Quest, for example, Flame, who is a firefox, which was a fantastic creation of an amazing girl called Madeline, who is also one of my beta readers, and she created the firefox character as part of a competition that I did with Felsted School. And this firefox character, when I created the plot around her, I expected her to have a fairly small part in the book. But as I wrote the story, she took on a much bigger role than I'd imagined her to have. And I love the way that plot line went. And I love the role that character's taken in the story now. And it flows right up to the end of the story, which I really love. So I think that's probably a surprising thing about writing Rescue Quest that is something that I really, really enjoy. Jay asked, how much help and support do you get with regards to cover design and formatting besides the template, which is the thing I talked about in the last diary entry? And is there a limited number of submissions before they say, that's it, you're done? You're done. So the main place that I have published the Rescue Quest book, well, the first Rescue Quest book and the one that will be coming up is Amazon. And I publish that through Amazon KDP. I do also go wide. So I publish through Draft to Digital. I publish on Google Play Books and on Kobo as well. But let's have a quick look at Amazon's KDP site, and I'll show you the kind of support that you get on KDP with regards to formatting and cover design. Okay, so here we are. I've put my glasses on for this. Here we are on the Kindle Direct Publishing site, which is where you come to when you want to make changes or upload your book. So you'll see Rescue Quest is there and Happiness Habits Transformation is there. So let's look at the kind of support that you get if you want to upload a book through KDP. So down here, you'll see, well, at the top, there's community marketing. There's a big help section up here, but let's go down to the tools and resources that is right here and click on that, and you'll see that there's all sorts of help topics on the left hand side here. Everything from setting up your account and taxes to book formatting, publishing, ordering copies, marketing, distribution, payment reports, legal. It's all there. There's lots of information. It's not everything that you need to know, and to be honest, some of it you just kind of figure out as you go along, it has to be said. But there is a lot of information here to get you started. So, for example, with the manuscript formatting, if you are going to be doing your writing in Word or in Pages, there's support for that. So here we've got a decision tree. So what do you want to do? I want to format a manuscript written in Pages for Mac. Then there's a step-by-step guide for that, and the link for it is down here. Word for Mac, Word for PC. You can also calculate your book dimensions, because when you are uploading your book, you need to say what the size of the book is, and there's a calculator to help you to set that up. You can calculate your royalties and the printing cost, which is important to determine the cost of the book. So what you're going to put it on sale for. You need to know that you're not going to be out of pocket. So that's there. All of this information is all in these links down here. Then there's cover formatting. So there's a cover creator tool which you can use. I will just quickly show you that. I create mine myself, but you can do some work through the cover creator. So you can customize a cover with a variety of layouts and fonts, and you can add your ISBN and stuff as well. So you can, for example, create an ebook cover, create a paperback cover. There's hard book as well. There are guidelines and templates here for these things. So all of that's there, and it shows you in the contents how to use the cover creator. I didn't find it all that useful for me because I love Canva, and I do all of my creative work in Canva. So I personally download the templates and use Canva. But if you don't have Canva, if you haven't got the pro version of Canva, then you can absolutely have a go and see if this meets your needs. So if we go back to formatting here, you'll see you can look at the trim sizes and margins. So set the size, create the front and back matter, save the manuscript for upload. So it allows you to format the cover files, and all that information is there for you, which is actually quite useful. If we take another side of the help that they've got here, for example, in the publishing, if you've never done it before, there's loads of information here about content that you can publish, what kinds of content you can publish, what you can't publish. So there's a whole list of things that you can do. You could put comics on, for example, and it will take you through that process. Supported ebook formats, etc., how to create a book, what the royalties are. I mean, everything is here that you need, to be honest. You can also do marketing through KDP as well. So if we go to marketing, for example, then here you can manage your Author Central account, which is where you put in your profile. You can do Amazon ads here, and you can also do A+ content through the marketing tab. So this is not about book formatting so much, but it is still really helpful because I'll show you what that looks like. Let's go to, if I show you my book on Amazon. Just give me a second. Okay, so if I show you, this is my book listed on amazon.co.uk with the new cover, which I think is looking good. But if you scroll down here, you'll see you've probably seen this with other authors. You can put information here. So it's almost like a sort of an ad, if you like, for the book, but you can create this A+, it's called A+ content. You can create this here on that marketing tab, as I've done it here as 3 separate images that I created in Canva and uploaded using the specifications from that page about A+. And it's just something a little bit different to draw people in to your book. So that's it for this week's diary entry. I hope that's been useful, interesting to go behind the scenes. And if you've got any questions about writing, editing, or self-publishing your own books, then leave a comment below and I'll answer them in a future diary entry. In the meantime, until next time, I'll say bye for now.